Hey guys, Karen Butler here with the KB Experience, bringing you the momentum you need for your daily life. Today we're discussing a very interesting subject, which is how to leave a relationship, especially if it's a long-time relationship or long-term relationship. Most often, we're in relationships way too long than we should have been. And when it's time to actually leave, we kind of already knew it was coming. But instead, we stay and try to make it work and try to make it work. And most times those things don't work. So there comes a time when you have to leave a relationship. And sometimes it's by force. Sometimes it's a decision that both parties have made, and sometimes it's a decision that only one party has made. Well, either case, whenever you've been in a long-term relationship and it ends, someone knew it was coming, or you had the indication that it would end up this way one day. Long-term relationships just don't end. So, and then sometimes long-term relationships, when they do end, they can leave you broken, wounded, and damaged. Really bad. So how do you bounce back from that? How do you recover? What does that look like? Well, first off, once you leave or decide to leave a relationship, especially long-term relationships, the most immediate thing to do, if possible, is to go no contact. Whenever you've been in a long-term relationship, you are conditioned to respond to certain things. You are automatically on autopilot in that relationship. So no contact is good, at least for the first 3 months. And the reason this is so good, because this should be a time for you to just delve deep in yourself and find out what kept you here so long, what you're going to do now, and how to do it now. And that time, the 3-month period, should be totally focused on you, not the person you left. And during a long-term relationship, one party has given so much of themselves to the relationship, they have totally ignored and forgotten who they are. And when this is the case, those 3 months need to be used to finding yourself again, finding the passion, the love, and the drive that you once had. That's why it's important for you to cut everything off and just deal with yourself. Climbing in bed with someone else, new relationships, bounce back relationships, those are temporary fixes to a long-term problem. And the long-term problem is dealing with yourself. Why have you been in a relationship this long that didn't serve you or serve a purpose? Why did you stay so long? What happened to the relationship? Why did it go down the road that it went? So these are important questions you need to first validate and find out within yourself. This is a self-healing time. This is a time to find your greatness and your biggest potential. I always say when you fall, it's okay to fall, but fall on your knees, not on your butt. Once you fall on your knees, you can grab hold to whatever's around you and slowly pick yourself back up to stand on your own 2 feet. And this is hard for some people when they leave a long-term relationship. It may be financial dependencies, it may be emotional dependencies, but either way, it is time for that relationship to dissolve. And in the time that it is for that relationship to dissolve, it is now time to work on yourself. So always provide yourself with self-care. That is the number one thing those first 3 months when you leave. Reading your scripture, meditation, noticing that the birds are chirping outside. That is so amazing. A lot of times when we're in relationships, especially when it's towards the end, we totally forget our surroundings, we become unconscious. We've numbed ourselves. We've numbed our senses. I mean, these things you should celebrate. You should feel, if sun's shining and you're feeling good and you're smiling because you've overcame something. That is so beautiful. And celebrate that and enjoy that. And then you should do some soul searching. Search deep in your soul for what you want to do in life. What makes you happy? Search deep in your soul for what you want in a relationship. And stop settling. Oftentimes, when we're in relationships and we find ourselves getting divorced or breaking the relationship off, we have settled from the beginning. We have settled for something that we should not have settled for. And stop settling for things. Use this time to really find yourself. And being alone is a good thing. Some people fear being alone. Don't fear being alone. Being alone helps you identify and focus and pull the energy on yourself and find out who you truly are. We wear many masks in lives. Masks that our husband wants us to wear, masks that our children want us to wear, masks that the neighbors want us to wear, masks that our bosses want us to wear. And when you're alone with yourself, you can take that mask off and bask in the celebration of who you really, truly are independently as a person. And sometimes we don't get a chance to do that. We've got social media, we've got television, we've got all kind of distractions. The fourth key is to do you. Do you. Can we say that really, really big? Do you. Enjoy your life. Enjoy loving yourself. Get a new haircut, buy yourself a new wardrobe, get your nails done, whatever it takes. Enjoy you. Live your life. You only are here for a short time. You are a beautiful person. Just love on you for a minute. I mean, you've given so much of yourself to everything and everybody around you. Give some of that to you. You can do it. It's hard. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be nerve-wracking at times. But you've got to understand that no contact is so important. It's so important to you. It has nothing to do with your partner. During this time, you don't want to see your partner with somebody else. You want to hear about them dating someone else, especially if it's a long-term relationship, because you and him have grown so much. There are going to be times when you go to the favorite restaurant that you and him loved. Just look at it in a new direction now. It's going to be times that you need to clear the clutter out your life and out your home. Get rid of his things. Get rid of things that remind you of him. Change the room around. Buy new furniture. Get a new bed. Things hold energy. So if you have a lot of the partner's things in your house, in your life, it's going to hold energy. Change. It's time for a new. Look at it as a new direction, a new adventure, a new page, a new chapter in your book. And build off of that. But most importantly, love yourself. Love yourself. There's a great speaker by the name of Lisa Nichols, and I love her, and she talks about her grandma tells her a man's rejection is God's protection. And that is so true. That is amazing. Just think about it. Man's rejection is God's protection. God didn't want you going through that anymore. God didn't want you there suffering alone, miserable, tied in a relationship. And even if you have children, just because you're married does not mean your children are raised up in a healthy environment. You have to understand that. If you two are there fighting and bickering, not speaking, and just the whole atmosphere is toxic and dirty and dingy and hurtful, and it's breeding all of these emotions in your children. When you get out there and you find peace and love and happiness, now that's what you call raising children, even if you're doing it on your own and by yourself. There's a difference. So that's enough of my time, and I hope I got something or said something that resonate with you. You are a beautiful person. You can do this. You can do this. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's so much more fun on the other side. So enjoy life, enjoy yourself. This has been a KB experience. Like and share this video. Go to my website, www.gamechangers.experts, for more information on conferences and tools that you can use. And have a blessed day. And most of all, love yourself. Goodbye.